October is behind us, and this only means one thing, and that is that I'm doing my video of recapping every single show that I've seen within this month. I have also hit my target of 52 shows in October, which means that this year I'll go well over my target of 52 shows for the whole year. And I'm really excited for the shows that I'm going to see in the next couple of months. So if you like these kind of videos, then make sure to subscribe to my channel. The first show that I went to see in October was Get Down Tonight, which is a new musical that is performing currently at the Charing Cross Theatre. This was a PR invitation, so I shared my review on my West End Notes Instagram profile as well. This show is following the rise to fame of Casey and the Sunshine Band. It is set in Florida during 70s, and it follows the life and journey of Harry Casey. He started by working in a record shop and then started working in a music production studio all the way to him recording his first song. But it is very much intertwined with his personal life, and it includes a story about his friends, Orly, Dee, and Gina. And this is all very much Harry Casey approved, so he decided to pick out some key moments in his life to tell his story. But essentially this is a jukebox musical, and it very much leans into the well-known hits such as Give It Up, That's the Way I Like It, Get Down Tonight. And if you're into disco and funk music and generally story about up-and-coming musicians of that time with a lot of positive and silly humor, then this could be a show for you to check out. It is on until 15th of November at the Charing Cross Theatre, which is a beautiful small theatre in London. It's near the Strand, so it's very central and easy to access. So this could be just the feel-good show that you need. If you're looking for a more elaborate story and big plot twists, then probably this is not the musical for you, but this musical has a lot of things going on for it. It is a very upbeat and happy production that ultimately has the message of music and friendship. And also there's part of this story that deals with loss of your loved ones in a very heartwarming way, so it's genuinely a show that is guaranteed to leave you in a good mood. The second show that I went to see in October was my biggest excitement, but also my biggest disappointment, and this is not to do with the production, but it is more to do with casting. And I'm going to tell you a story in a second, but you might know what I'm talking about, and that is Cabaret. Cabaret is one of those productions that since 2021 is becoming the staple of the West End and one of the most eagerly anticipated shows because the cast is changing fairly frequently, and there's some really big names that have performed as Sally Bowles and emceeing, including Cara Delevingne, Eddie Redmayne, Amy Lou Wood, and many other stars from the entertainment industry. Cabaret is a classic of musical theater. It follows the story of Sally Bowles, who is this English girl who lives in Berlin and works at the Kit Kat Club, and this is all happening just before the Second World War starts in Berlin. While at the heart of Cabaret are a couple of love stories and a lot of exciting characters that you get to meet, this is also a story that is talking about a change in fabric of society and how this trickles through to every single fiber of society and how this impacts everyday people, especially when something like Nazis are rising and coming to power. And it's an incredible musical that has stood test of time for the past 50 years or more, and it is one of those classics that the songs keep grabbing you and you always learn something new when you watch this musical, and this production is definitely so captivating. So you might ask, what went wrong for this to be a disappointment? Well, I have seen Cabaret twice before, and I've even done a review in one of my previous videos. It's one of my top 5 productions that I have ever seen, and I know that it is so good. So when I booked tickets to go see it again, it was because the new cast was announced and they started performing, and the people in question here are Reeve Cardy and Eva Noblezada. And if you're not familiar with these names, they are basically the theater kid royalty. They're actors who were cast as Orpheus and Eurydice during the first production of Hadestown at the National Theatre about maybe 10 years ago, and then they went to perform on Broadway in these roles, and then they came back to the West End when they were filming The Pro Shot, which is something that I witnessed earlier in the year, and I was over the moon to get to see them perform together. And when the cast was announced that Reeve and Eva are coming back to the West End in these roles, I was so excited. And while I'm very excited to see Reeve, in particular, I am excited to see Eva because I appreciate her as musical theater performer so much. I think she brings such a raw emotion, and also her voice is absolutely stunning. When I went to see Cabaret, I was hoping to see both of them because I went to see them on the days that they were scheduled to perform. However, things happened and Eva wasn't able to perform that night, and she was substituted by the amazing Lucy Young, who had her debut as Sally Bowles that night, and her performance performance was to die for. She was absolutely brilliant, and just the thought of her not knowing that she's going to perform that role probably 24 hours prior to that is crazy to think that she was able to pull out that performance so well in absence of Eva. While my disappointment has nothing to do with either Lucy's or Reeve or anyone in particular performance, it is literally the absence of Eva Noblezada that I could not get over. So this means that I will book a ticket to go see Cabaret again. They are performing until I think mid-January in these roles, so I'm really hoping that I get to see both of them and that I catch Eva in this role, because that would make me really happy. But if you're not obsessed with Eva Noblezada like I am, you should go and check out Cabaret if you haven't already. This is a fantastic production. It is such a brilliant way that they rework the theater, and it also offers such a unique experience because it makes you go down into the Kit Kat Club and you get the entertainment before the show, and the ensemble is absolutely brilliant, and you're seated around the stage in the cabaret style environment. So everything about this production is so high end, and it is totally worth spending a little bit more money on and enjoying the artistry that the cast and ensemble members bring to this show every night. I was really excited to go and check out the third show in October that I went to see, because this is one of the most talked about productions at the moment, and that is Hunger Games on Stage. This is a show that I've already done a full review for, so you can go onto my profile and check that video out. Technically, this show is still in previews, so there are still changes that are happening, especially because this is set in a completely new theater in Canary Wharf that is called Troubadour Theater, and there are so many things that they are experimenting with at the moment that basically the production that I have seen, while it was running smoothly, I am expecting some elements of it to change, and I would like for them to change as well, because I think it definitely can lean into certain elements more than the others to make it a standout piece. To quickly recap, this story follows Katniss Everdeen, who volunteers as a tribute in the Hunger Games to protect her young sister who was in the ballot for the first time, but somehow they managed to pick her out of all the names in the ballot. And this is all set in this dystopian world where two people from 12 districts that are pretty much poor districts are competing in the Hunger Games to entertain capital, which are the rich and the powerful. And the way that they compete in these games is that essentially they need to kill each other so that there's only one winner left. So this is the same story from the first book of the same name. However, this is the first time that this story has been brought to stage. And if you know anything about this story, is that there is a lot of fighting scenes, a lot of running, and they really tried to imitate this on stage as well. And the way they did this, apart from building a whole theater around the production, is that they have this huge set that is essentially an arena, and they have a lot of acrobatics and a lot of physically demanding way to deliver these roles and to deliver this blocking. Naturally, with the amount of acrobatics that is involved, there is a lot of safety elements that they're, I guess, still working through to make them as smooth as possible. And the set is pretty much that arena in the middle, and then you're seated around, and when you're booking your tickets, you're actually booking to sit in different districts. And technically, because of the position of the seats and the stage, a lot of these seats offer a decent view. So in terms of what you can expect if you go to see this show, there's a lot of new elements and experimentation in terms of theater production. I think that it's better to wait a little bit before you go see the show, because it's still new and fresh and they're still doing a lot of different tweaks to it. So it would probably be better to go and see the final version. I will definitely go check it out again, because I would like to compare it to the second preview that I've seen and see how much the show has evolved. From my perspective, I feel like that maybe they haven't nailed yet the heart of the story and what the story is about. I think there's a lot of focus at the moment on those very shiny acrobatic elements and parts of the set design that really make this production be something unique and different. But there are still a few nuances that I would love for them to polish before I go and check it out again and see the final version. The show actually got extended already until October 2026, so there is a lot of demand for it, and I think that they're going to do everything in their power to make it a success. So if you're a fan of Hunger Games, then I think that this is the one that could be worth checking out. And the last show that I've seen in October is an oldie but goldie, and that is The Lion King. I previously went to see The Lion King twice, once on Broadway and once in the West End, but the last time I went to see it, it was about 6 or 7 years ago, and I remember still enjoying it. But this time when I went to check it out, I was blown away by it. I think this is one of those productions that is going to stand the test of time for years and years to come. It is still one of the most innovative pieces of theater that you can go and see. There is nothing like The Lion King. The costumes, the music, the choreography, the set design, everything is so spectacular that I can understand why this is to this date a show that so many people who come to London want to visit, because it truly is so amazing. The story of the Lion King is familiar with everyone. It follows Simba on his adventures to reclaim the throne after Scar, his uncle, has killed his father, which he wasn't aware of. And then there are Timon and Pumbaa and so many different creatures and animals that you get to meet through this musical, and they all look so believable and beautiful. And just the choreography and the movement in this show is something that truly stands out, because it is so done to mimic the nature in the most natural way. The music also has some of the most impactful and beautiful Disney numbers written by Elton John and Tim Rice, such as The Circle of Life, Can You Feel the Love Tonight, Hakuna Matata. So many wonderful songs that are familiar to a lot of the audiences, and it is just one of those shows that will deliver to the spectacle that you are expecting it to be. One downside of going to see The Lion King is that the audience is a bit rowdy for my taste, and this is to be expected. There is a lot of kids, a lot of families, a lot of tourists, and this is one of the reasons why maybe for a veteran theater goer this might not be the most pleasant experience. But if you're coming to London and you want to check out one of the best shows in the town, then you definitely need to go for The Lion King. That wraps up my October. I've seen only 4 shows because I've been traveling and I had a lot of busy things that were happening during this month, but I am hoping to see a few more shows until the end of the year, despite hitting my 52-year mark for the shows that I wanted to see this year. And on that note, some of the shows that I'm the most excited about are about to open in the next couple of months, so check out this video where I'm talking about which shows those are.